Surrender to my will.
Hello guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. I hope you liked that little intro I put together for you. So as you can tell by the title of this video, today we're going to talk about Moira. Now in my last video I mentioned how I felt like in a lot of situations with Mercy I couldn't get enough healing, so I was looking for another support character that I could play and learn to help me in situations where I needed to heal more. So obviously there's two choices, either Ana or Moira. Now, just keeping it 100 with you guys, I feel like in terms of potential, Ana is definitely the best if you really master her kit and learn how to play her well. But in terms of just in general, overall, right now I think Moira is the go-to pick for main healer. And the reason I say that is because now that Mercy has been nerfed, I feel like Moira has sort of replaced her role, so she's still a main healer and she's not insanely difficult to play, so if anyone needs to fill and play the main healer role, then Moira is definitely the hero they should be picking. Because with Ana, the thing is, she's very hard to master and play if you haven't played her before, so if anyone's in a situation where they need to fill and they pick Ana, they're probably not going to do as well. Now, if we're going to compare Moira and Mercy, what I've noticed in my games is that the team with a Moira would probably win versus a team with a Mercy as a main healer, simply because she's able to keep her whole team alive, whereas Mercy cannot out-heal all that damage, and that's just because Moira has the more superior AoE healing. And that's part of the reason why I've really been enjoying playing Moira lately, because I just feel so much more impactful, especially when there's a lot of damage coming my team's way and I'm able to out-heal it and keep my team alive by playing smart, by making use of my healing orb, as well as my primary fire, which is of course her main healing. So this video is not going to be super long, but I just want to talk to you guys about why I think Moira is so good right now, especially for those of you who might main Mercy and feel like you're not having as much fun with the game anymore. I definitely recommend that you have a look at Moira and see if her playstyle is something that you might be interested in, because I do feel like she's very fun to play. You just need to get used to her kit. And yeah, anyways, I guess let's start off with her basic stats. Now, I'm not going to go crazy and go full in depth with all her stats, I just want to point out a few things. So let's start with her primary fire, which is Biotic Grasp. Okay, so Biotic Grasp is Moira's primary source of healing, and it's not only an AoE heal, it also has a healing over time effect. It heals for 80 HP per second. Okay, let that number sink in, because that's what makes Moira so strong when you're running goats, like 3 supports, 3 tanks, because she can just out heal everything with her massive AoE heals, but there is sort of a learning curve to it, so she can only heal as much as the damage that she does, which is, I guess, the catch to her healing, but nevertheless, it's a crazy amount of heals that she can output. Her secondary fire is her draining ability, which she uses to replenish her healing resource meter, obviously, and she uses it to heal herself as well, so it does 50 damage per second, which is the same amount of healing that Mercy can do, strangely. Now, Biotic Orb is the ability that I think will really differentiate between good and bad Moira players depending on how you use it. So you can either throw out a healing orb that will heal for 300 HP over 4 seconds, or a damage orb which will deal 200 damage over 4 seconds, which equates to 50 damage per second, which is again exactly what Mercy can heal. So as you can see from Moira's damage output alone, she can do as much damage as Mercy can single target heal without her ultimate, which is crazy to me. Like, I'm not trying to complain about Mercy again, but it's just ridiculous that Moira alone can keep Mercy at bay, so how on earth can Mercy heal all the other damage that is potentially coming in from other heroes? Look, I don't know. Fade is probably the ability that I like to use the most. It just lets Moira slide in and out of fights and be slippery as hell, and this is what allows Moira to do what she does without really relying on other supports to keep her alive, and it is on a very low cooldown of 6 seconds, so you can, if you can use it properly, you can stay alive for a very long time. Last but not least, Coalescence is Moira's ultimate, and she can simultaneously deal damage while healing her teammates, and that's what makes this a great ability during team fights, because she can at the same time suppress the enemy team while keeping her teammates alive. Sorry if that was a bit long, guys. I just wanted to remind you that Moira has a lot of elements in her kit that you really need to balance out in order to play her effectively. So moving on, let's talk about Moira's advantages and why I think she is in such a good spot right now. So first of all, Moira is hands down the best burst healer in the game, as well as, in my opinion, the best AoE healer. When your team is fighting in a really tight spot, for example here I'm playing on Lijiang Tower and the point is tiny, Moira just does such an amazing job at keeping everyone alive because she can use the walls to like make the most use out of her healing orb as well as her primary fire, and it's just a lot of healing. Another reason why Moira is so good right now is because she has such a good balance of not just healing but also DPS and survivability. Not only that, she also has really low cooldowns and she can charge up her ultimate really quickly if you play her correctly. Now in saying that, Moira does have a few disadvantages as well, which is what allows her to be strong but not insanely OP Doomfist levels of strong. So for starters, Moira is a very short range healer. She cannot heal teammates that are very far away from her or in the sky unless she throws an orb, but even then that's not really an effective way of keeping her teammates alive, which is why she doesn't really gel well with dive comps such as D.Va and Winston, because she can't really heal them when they're diving up on high ground. Another disadvantage to Moira is that because of her limited range, she can't immediately top up a teammate the way that Mercy can simply by latching onto them with a healing beam, so that's something to keep in mind when you're playing Moira, is that you can't, because of your limited range, you can't really heal everything around you. And of course, Moira cannot heal through shields unless she's throwing a healing orb or using Coalescence, so it can be annoying when you're versing, tanks with shields and your team's behind them, and you really have to sort of maneuver and position yourself in order to heal those teammates. And finally, Moira's healing is based off a resource meter, so you really do have to be careful of how you're healing, otherwise you can find yourself in situations where you've run out of healing juice and your teammates will probably not like that. So you really do need to be careful of when you're healing and when you're doing damage, just so you can keep a good balance and make sure that you do have heals for your team when they need it. So before I end this video, I want to give you guys some general tips on how to play Moira better. I'm by no means a great Moira, okay? I'm learning myself, but I'm definitely improving, I feel like, and I can at least play her at a master's level, so I know that I'm not terribly shit at her, okay? Okay, so first of all, most importantly, please prioritize healing. You guys won't believe the amount of DPS Moiras that I see that I managed to out-heal as Mercy. That should not be happening at all, okay? Like, yes, Moira does damage, but that's not your role. Your role is a main healer, and your role is to keep your teammates alive. And while it may be fun to constantly throw damage orbs at the enemy team, you gotta remember that most of the time, that's only gonna tickle them, so you need to assess the situation and think about whether it's worth it using damage orb, or whether your teammates probably need a healing orb more. My next tip is to heal in bursts where you can, because Moira does have that healing over time effect, and if you're trying to replenish your resource meter, it's actually better to spam your secondary fire rather than hold it down, unless of course you're going for a kill, in which case you probably want the consistent damage that you get from holding onto your secondary fire. Another thing to keep in mind with Moira is to make the most use out of obstacles and walls where you can. So for example, if you're using Healing Orb, you can actually sort of rebound it against walls in order to maximize the healing effect, rather than just throwing it at your teammates and allowing it to pass through, because then you might be wasting some healing. And just to add to that, what I've noticed I've been doing a lot more lately is making the most use out of angles. So for example, if the enemy team is hiding behind a corner, or if they're not in your line of sight and you want to hit them with a damage orb, you can actually rebound it against the wall in a sort of diagonal manner in order to hit them. So look out for those opportunities and make sure you sort of position your orb correctly, because I make that mistake a lot where I just randomly throw an orb out and it sort of hits like the corner of a wall or something and it completely flies off into some random direction, and that's another few seconds wasted. So that's something you want to try to minimize when you're playing Moira. If you guys are interested in playing Moira at a more advanced and high level, I will link Tesla's advanced top 500 Moira guide down below. It is 45 minutes long, but it's incredibly well done, and I definitely recommend it if any of you are interested in learning and playing Moira seriously. Anyway guys, I guess that's it for my video today. In closing, what I'm trying to say is, at heart I will always be a Mercy sim main, because those are the heroes that I've played the most. But lately it's been impossible for me to be the main healer and play Mercy and keep up with the heals, which is why I've been picking up Moira and trying to improve at her. Along with Anna, I think Moira is in a great spot right now, and for any of you who main Mercy and feel like you can't do anything, or you're not having fun with Overwatch, but still want to play play the game and play healer, then I highly recommend you play Moira because she is very fun to play once you get used to her, and I think you'll have a blast with it. As always, let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you at the next one. Bye guys. By the way, Brigade is still